Welcome back. This is Grandpa, and let's do this again. Please like, share with those that you know that would love this content, and please subscribe to get all of my stories for the kids and parents, even grandparents that would love them. As we left our last trip, I believe we were going to go on the trip to the cabin to see the strawberry moon. I just thought I would tell you a little about some of our trips, but I do not want to neglect some of the fundamentals of being Grandpa. That will be on its way, so stay tuned. The strawberry moon is the full moon in the month of June. Called so because June is the month when strawberries become ripe and ready for harvest. Makes sense. Well, another trip to the cabin camping with my other 4 grandkids to watch the strawberry moon. It was going to be a long night, but well worth the lack of sleep. Grandpa can sleep. Well, when he has finished his job and isn't around anymore. Grandkids will have learned lessons and have wonderful memories as they pursue life and all of the adventures to come. All of this applies to all grandparents. We can teach and educate. One reason for this channel is to educate parents and grandparents on the influences we all have on our kids and grandkids. Also want my grandkids to be able to come back and read these stories and understand the love and care that Grandpa has for them. But really, I wish for all kids to have the opportunity to learn from Grandpa's wisdom. One day, I do believe what the Bible says about children. Isaiah 11:8 and 9. I will let you read it. I believe that the time is coming in the future. However, our Creator has it set in His plan. I absolutely believe that being in the outdoors is His being with our Creator. After all, it is His witness to creation. Romans 1:20. Well, enough biblical verses. But a great example of how you can teach grandkids, of course, with the guidance of their parents. Now back to this trip. We arrived and set up camp. We were camping on another part of the property that is towards the highest point and has a great view to the valley side. I arrived first, so the one thing I really enjoy is music. I have a place where I park my truck that is a pull-through. I have my truck set up for cabin camping. I have a bed mattress in the back and a tent I set up behind the truck. I'll provide pictures. I set up, pulled out my portable speaker and was listening to some Native American indigenous music. Certainly adds to the atmosphere of the woods. All set up waiting on the grandkids to arrive. Of course, in my comfortable camping chair with a cold beverage, taking in the beautiful scenery and all of the wonderful smells the woods provide. As I sit listening to some beautiful Native American music, I do have a very good sound system. Just brings the woods alive. Here they come. I can hear their truck coming down the cabin road. I'm excited. As the grandkids come to greet Grandpa, it is time to set up their tent and get ready to build a fire. That takes a while as the grandkids gather firewood. Watching them running around in the woods is one of my great pleasures in life. As we get all of the camping area set up and a small fire is going, after all, it is June and not cold at all. We set up a cooking table with the Coleman stove on it, getting ready for night, and of course, the reason we are here is to watch the full strawberry moon. We unload our 4-wheelers and have to take a little break riding around after all. The kids are learning to ride, and of course Grandpa has to keep an eye on them while parents finish setting up camp. So we play and bring back a little firewood. As the sun sets and the valley gets darker, my daughter prepares a beautiful camping dinner for us. I am so lucky to be surrounded by great cooks. She makes some of the most beautiful, best-tasting cakes and cookies I have ever eaten. I wish I could eat them every day. I think I remember my doctor saying that was just what I needed. Well, sometimes my memory fails me, especially at the doctor's office. We enjoyed an amazing meal, just waiting on that full strawberry moon to show up. We sit around the campfire talking about the woods and all of the wildlife that live out there. Yes, we even discuss Bigfoot. Having a wonderful time, we finally see the moon starting its ascent for a bright, beautiful night. Flashlights won't be needed tonight. As it gets dark and the strawberry moon is coming up over the valley, we are talking about all of the animals in the woods. Where we are camped on this part of the property, there is a bear trail that runs about 50 yards to the south. We know the bears use it because we have found bear scat on the trail when we walked it. Also set up some feeders for the deer near the trail, and the bears tore them up getting to the corn. We don't have the feeders there anymore. Back to watching the moon, we stayed up almost all night. Of course, coffee on the Coleman stove to help Grandpa stay awake. The grandkids last as long as they can, then their eyes get heavy and sleep sneaks up on them. So parents put them to bed. At least they saw part of the strawberry moon. Well, as my daughter and son-in-law stayed up watching the moon through the trees, we discussed many issues. Many of them we will discuss on future Grandpa Wisdom Stories. So please like, share, and subscribe. Don't miss out on the education coming to my channel. Yes, the parents, even as they are adults, well, at least most of them, they still can use Grandpa's wisdom. Well, it is getting late and Grandpa's eyes are fighting the late hours. Going to get a little rest. Be right back. Well, after a couple of hours sleep, I heard my daughter up. I asked her if she had the coffee going. I'll be right there. As it was still dark outside and the strawberry moon was still up. What a great way to start the day. Great cup of coffee brewed on the Coleman stove watching the strawberry moon setting. But the day was not over. Just starting. Kids waking up. Breakfast being made. Time for a ride before having to go back home. This ride we went to Lookout Ridge, a place with beautiful scenery and a very nice but almost difficult ride to get to. The parents will have to drive through the difficult areas. The grandkids aren't experienced enough to handle some of these places. Safety first. As we get to the ridge, a beautiful place. There are rocks for climbing and great places for pictures and walking. Time to ride back to camp. It's another wonderful time with the family. Please like, share, and subscribe. I am looking forward to many more trips with you and the family. I hope we can experience life and live through the eyes of Grandpa and the grandkids. After all, it is our duty to educate and help the future, learn, grow, and understand proper values. After all, God created us so that those of us who have gained wisdom through life's experiences can pass it on to our future, our grandkids. Back at the camp, it's time to fold up the tents and pack up the camping chairs and head home. Another 10-mile trip back to the road home. Talking about our trip to see the strawberry moon. Kids on the two-way radios talking about the fun times and how much we hate to leave. But Grandpa will be back. Just having entirely too much fun. Next time, we will discuss the responsibility and role of Grandpa as to the fundamentals of experiences to their grandkids. What a great adventure we are all on together. Have a great week and see y'all soon.